Welcome to AmeenAcademy.com. Let us do the Carnatic Wars. The Carnatic Wars were a series of military conflict that took place in India, Karnataka region between 1746 to 1763. The Carnatic Wars were fought between the British East India Company and the French East India Company. The wars were part of the larger global conflict, the Seven Years' War between Britain and France. The main objective of the wars was to gain political supremacy and trade in India. The outcome, the British emerged victorious in all three wars, cementing their hold on the region. The British East India Company gained significant political power and trade monopoly. The impact, Carnatic Wars shaped the course of Indian affairs under British colonial rule. They paved the way of significant changes in governance and administration. The three Carnatic Wars were fought in the following years. The first Carnatic War fought from 1746 to 1748. The second Carnatic War fought from 1756 to 1763. Third Carnatic War fought from 1768 to 1772. Let us discuss some detail about three wars. First Carnatic War from 1746 to 1748. The first Carnatic War, which was in fact the part of the War of the Austrian succession in Europe, resulted in open hostilities between the British and French in India. The first encounter was when the French, under the command of Admiral La Bourdonnais, captured Madras in 1746. The British responded to this attack under the command of Major Stringer Lawrence, where heavy loss were suffered. The most significant battle of this war was the Battle of Saint Swanthom near Madras in 1746. The war was brought to its official close by the Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle in 1748, which gave Madras back to the British and returned to pre-war status quo ante without sorting out the real cause of the rivalry. Second Carnatic War. The Second Carnatic War broke out as part of the power struggle for succession in both the Carnatic region and Hyderabad. The French supported Chanda Sahib while the British supported Muhammad Ali Wallaja for the Nawabship of Carnatic. Some of the most noteworthy action during this war were the Battle of Ambur in 1749 and the Battle of Arcot in 1751, where the young Robert Clive used his tactics to win the day for the British. This war brought out several factors in fortification and modern methods of warfare. The war ended with the Treaty of the Pondicherry in 1754, which again did little to dampen the rivalry but fixed a more solid British position in South India. Third Carnatic War. The Third Carnatic War fell between the period of the worldwide Seven Years' War and marked the last decisive war of the British against the French in India. Large-scale battles were therefore frequent between the British under the leadership of Sir Eyre Coote and the French under Comte de Lally. The war culminated into the conclusive Battle of Vandivash in 1760. The victory of Coote and Vandivash was crucial because it ensured that the British would capture Pondicherry in 1761. The war finally ended with the Treaty of Paris in 1763, which successfully put an end to the political ambitions of the French in India and sealed the supremacy of British. The After that three wars ended, then we can talk about impact of the Carnatic War. What happens after this war? The Carnatic Wars had massive repercussion that were long lasting in nature for the Indian subcontinent. The first one, the loss of political influence. This put an end to the political and military ambitions of the French in India, while the French retained certain trading posts. They were henceforth not capable of challenging British supremacy. Consolidation of British dominance. This wars formed the nucleus of the British Empire in the Indian territories. The British East India Company became the major European power in India, the foundation of British colonial empire. Actual control over key territories and trade routes allowed the British to expand their economic and political influence into the establishment of the British Raj. Military and administrative innovation. The wars imposed changes in military strategies, administrative techniques, and tactics of alliances, which later saw more sophisticated political and military governance in this region. Major treaties associated with the Carnatic Wars. After, because of these treaties, that Carnatic War comes to an end. This resolution of the Carnatic Wars came with a number of important treaties, which includes but are not limited to the following. Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle in 1748. The first Carnatic War was closed by this treaty, restoring Madras to the British and returning other territories to their pre-war status. Treaty of Pondicherry, 1754. The Second Carnatic War ended with his confirming the status quo yet again, consolidating the strategic grip of British in those territories. Treaty of Paris, 1763. This treaty concluded the Third Carnatic War, called of the Seven-Year War. And finally, it marked the end of French political influence in India and recognized British territorial gains. So far, we discussed about three Carnatic Wars and its impact and treaties associated with Carnatic Wars. We have done. Please subscribe our YouTube channel.